we're talking about what a swell guy Joe Biden is. So swell. And how the media runs cover for him. Now, do you guys remember, not only in the campaign of 16, but during Trump's presidency, how many news stories there were about Trump and his weird obsession with his daughter, Ivanka? He's like, got the hots for his daughter. Look how he touched her waist at the Republican National Convention in 16. Remember? Didn't you read a bunch of this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The media love this story. Like, he's creepy. He's a perv. There's something between him and the daughter. How many stories have you read about Joe Biden and his daughter? Approximately
0.
none. Because the media has run full cover for Joe Biden on what was in the contents of his daughter Ashley's diary. Now, this diary was stolen by ne'er-do-well and then marketed to people like James O'Keefe, who also now is potentially in trouble with the law, though it's not illegal for a journalist to take stolen goods and publish them. The New York Times did it with Sarah Palin's emails. What's illegal is if the journalist is in on the theft, pays for it, encourages it, that kind of thing. So far, there's no evidence of that that's been made public about James O'Keefe, and he denies having done it. But I go back to the criminal case involving the ne'er-do-well. It was some woman allegedly, potentially involved in drugs or some sort of nefarious behavior in some house where Ashley Biden had been staying, and this person found her diary and then marketed it. And the diary was extremely incendiary. The contents of the diary were extremely incendiary. And there was a period of time where we didn't know whether it was hers. But then as the case went on and the FBI was involved and they indicted, the DOJ indicted the thief and alleged that this was the Biden diary, we covered it here on the show. We did it carefully and we did it responsibly, but we covered it. Just as the media would have way sooner in this course of events had it been an Ivanka Trump diary that said anything, never mind what was in the Ashley diary. And what we have today is an update to the story because this defendant is about to be sentenced. And Ashley Biden herself wrote to Judge Laura Taylor Swain on April 8th to say she will not be attending the criminal sentencing for the woman who stole her diary, but she, now she has been sentenced. But she wanted to write a letter about why this woman should get jail time. And the judge just unsealed that letter received from Ashley Biden. This was at the request of the New York Times, which really wanted to see what Ashley Biden was saying. Has the New York Times reported about the diary or the letter? No, they haven't. They're not reporting on the content. So no, so they're still running cover.
It was a catch and kill for the New York Times.
Apparently they saw the letter, didn't find it was interesting. Okay, she wrote things like, I am deeply saddened that I even have to write this letter because my personal private journal was stolen and sold for profit. And she goes on to say, please throw the book at her. Now, here is what the diary says, among other things, previously reported by the MK Show. This is, let's see, dated 1/30/2019. I've always been boy crazy. I remember pulling up my skirt in second grade and showing the boys my underpants. Hypersexualized at a young age. Hypersexualized at a young age. What does this do to? Was I molested? I think so. I can't remember specifics, but I do remember trauma. I remember not liking the name of some unknown last name house, their house. I remember somewhat being sexualized with Caroline. We don't know who that is, but there is a first cousin named Caroline to her. I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to be. And then she goes on to call her mother not emotionally available and so on. So here is the daughter of the sitting president saying she thinks she was molested when she was a child. She remembers the trauma, though not the specifics. In searching for said specifics, she mentions inappropriate showers with her father and being turned on when she wasn't supposed to be. I'm sorry, but this is a story by any measure, and it gets a complete blackout from the media because they just want to say, well, stolen. Well, now it's on record, just like the Hunter Biden laptop, as belonging to the child of the president, who's a grown adult now. And still, they won't report. Still, they will protect him.
Yeah, there'd be one thing if there was a standard that was adhered to in any form or fashion, right? I mean, there was a time like in the Walter Cronkite world of journalism where there was some observance of sort of these kind of scandalous details, and the media doesn't get into it because it's not of public record. Well, that's changed entirely, but it's changed only based on your ideology as a politician. I mean, if you are a liberal, progressive Democrat, again, back to the Walter Cronkite days. If you are Donald Trump, I mean, can you imagine how fast something like that would find its way to
I mean, that's the thing
air?
is we don't have to imagine. Like, I've made the comparison that a prosecutor in New York is going to put a porn star on the stand, have her detail exactly what happens during her time with the president, when that same individual still has to pay $500,000 in defamation to the president. But sure, give them a podium to say all this lurid stuff that the press is going to eat up and report and just gawk over. But this diary gets zero coverage. And it's even more egregious because details from that diary are corroborated in text messages Hunter sent to his sister and discussions that they had that were found on the laptop, which we were also told was misinformation. None of this is true and the media didn't want to cover. It's a pattern of the media covering for these people. And it's a pattern that this is Joe Biden's behavior. Not only has Ashley's diary said these things, Hunter's text messages to her have said the same thing too.
And yet, where's that story? Why am I still reading about Ivanka Trump? To this day, they're obsessed with Trump. That made its way into the trial, that Trump said allegedly to Stormy, you remind me of my daughter, and then he's got some weird obsession with Ivanka. You know what Ivanka didn't do? She didn't write in any document we've seen that she took inappropriate showers with her father and that there may have been a history of molestation. I mean, this is outrageous. And it's, let's be honest, dovetails perfectly with Joe Biden's public conduct toward young women. And always. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm very creeped out by the fact that he seems obsessed with smelling young girls' hair, with getting too familiar with them, with crossing boundaries that no man should be crossing with young women. But there's zero appetite to look into it, to report on it, to probe it at all. Meanwhile, we're spending a whole trial on a one-night stand Trump may or may not have had with a porn star who's in the business of sex.
Right. Well, it sounds like somebody at the New York Times made the mistake of trying to journalisming.
Yeah.
Right. And it quickly found its way into the higher assignment editor box where people were like, oh, you have this information? Let's not do that. Right.
Right.
But to your point, I mean, what's the difference between that and what we're accusing David Pecker of?
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, it sounds, if they were the ones who put in the request for the information and then they were going to sit on it and not do anything with it, that sounds like catch and kill. Like what? How is that not catch and kill? I think somebody should ask them. If I were a media reporter, I would call them and ask them for a comment. And the lead of the story would say the New York Times is engaged in a controversial catch and kill strategy that they will not comment on. I mean, really, don't you think?
Just to correct the record, the reason Stormy owes Trump $500,000 is because the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals sided with Trump in his effort to recoup additional legal fees from Stormy Daniels, who had filed and lost a defamation case against him. So you're correct. She was ordered to pay Trump's attorneys over $120,000 of legal fees, which is on top of the more than $500,000 in court-ordered payments to Trump attorneys she'd been ordered to pay. So in any event, she lost, and she lost big, and she was supposed to pay legal fees, and she didn't do it. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, Delta was just one of many animals that needed help, and this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a home. April marks 45 years since Leo rescued Delta. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open. If you would like caring for these animals to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner because there are tax benefits too. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call a dog man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.